Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah. You might be wondering why we're looking at a bunch of chickens and a notepad with numbers on it. Well, in today's video, I thought we would do a bit of a restock together. I almost said market prep, but it's an online restock, not market prep. So in today's video, I'm going to be working on restocking my shop for January 1st. Today is the 27th of December. So I have a bunch of things I need to do before the 1st, and we'll see how much we can get done in today's vlog. To begin today's vlog, we will be making a checklist of all the things that I have and deciding on what else I should make. Now, I have most of the things laid out on my bed here. Things that I want to try and get up to sell. Mainly, I will be focusing on the popping mushrooms that are there and my chickens, which we have a lot of them. Then extra, we'll be having these sea creatures. I don't know if all of them will be going up or just some, but I do have a plan. Right now, the chickens and the popping mushrooms are done. I already made them, and I'm not going to be making any more for this restock, especially the chickens. I do want to make a couple more turtles. You see that cream one right there. I'd like to make a couple more of those in green and brown combos and colors like that. And then I was thinking about making a couple more whales in some different colors, but I haven't quite decided yet. For sure, I want to get up my octopi because they are so stinking cute, and the turtles, so I'll be making some more of those. But I think out of everything here, that will be all that I'll be putting up because I have a surprise. Dun 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 dun, drum roll please. I will be releasing my first paid pattern at the end of January. I haven't done it before, and I'm hoping to get it up on Ribbler if I can figure out all of those things, and then maybe up on my eBay shop if I can get PDF patterns to work through there. I'm not quite sure how downloads work for eBay, so I'll have to figure that out. Anyways, the paid pattern is going to be a unicorn pattern, and what I have to do is crochet it again and make sure the pattern is correct, and then I will be doing a tester call. So if any of you are interested, you can follow me over on Instagram if you have it, because that's where the tester call will be held. I'll probably be looking for 6 to 8 testers depending on how much the pattern reaches other people, if that makes any sense. I've hosted a couple other tester calls, so we'll see how that one goes. So I think that will be the only other thing I'll be putting up in the restock for this month. And that's probably the only other thing I'll be crocheting next month. So yeah, I also have a bunch of axolotls. Now you see that there's price tags on everything. That's because these are leftovers from a market I did this month, December, but it'll be next month when I don't really know where I was going with that, but it'll be December. The event I had was in December. Continuing on, most of these prices will change for the online store because I do have to worry more about packaging fees and eBay fees. So some of these prices will be a little bit different than what you may be seeing. I have it written down here what I'll be charging. So for the chickens and the silkies, I'll be charging $15, and that'll pay for the eBay fees, the shipping fees, and everything. Popping mushrooms, I'm actually upping. They used to be $10, but I'll be putting them at $12 each. Again, that'll cover the eBay costs and the shipping costs and everything. I hope I'm not being too confusing. What I mean by shipping costs is boxes and packaging and stuff, not the actual shipping fee, which is covered by whoever purchases the item. So the axolotls, sea slugs, and you can see it yourself. There's a bunch of things that I'm still keeping at $10. I'm up in the squid to $14, and the turtles will be $12 because these pieces do take a little bit longer. I had all of these items priced the same for the market for ease, and not necessarily because it would give me the profit I feel like each item deserves. And since I'm going to be online, I can tweak them a little bit more, and also just pick and choose which item I'll be putting up. So it's been about 5 minutes and I'm sure you're done hearing my voice. So we're just gonna get right into some time lapses and then I might start talking again. But first things first, I will be working on the plushie portion. I want to make at least one other turtle, maybe some whales, but we'll see how I feel after the turtle. I think I want to make a few of them, so we'll just see where that goes from there. So I lost the fluffy part on my mic, so hopefully the audio quality isn't too bad. But before we get into the time lapse, I wanted to take a second to show off all the free patterns I released in December. Now the patterns I released were for a 12-day Christmas challenge, but I also designed these patterns so that you can make them all year round, any theme you'd like, and they're all sea creatures. So we're just going to go through quickly one by one what they are, what day they are, and where you can find them. So you can find all of the patterns on Instagram, written out on my Instagram, which I'll have linked in the description. And you can find every single one of these as a free tutorial over on my YouTube if you haven't seen them already. So, day one was this axolotl. Super quick, 20 minutes, no sew pattern. As with all of these, they're all no sew. Let's see, day two was the octopus, which is my personal favorite. Sorry for not centering that. Super cute, super quick as well. Day three was this starfish. Day four was day four. Day four is the squid, I believe. The squid is the longest pattern of the bunch, but again, no sew. Day four, day five. You know what? I really should have looked and double checked. Give me 1 second, actually. Oh, I was actually missing one, so that's why I was confused. This is day four. Squid is day five. Day six is the crab. I might have these a little out of order, but they're all labeled on everything. So let's see. Yep, I was out of order. Day six is the turtle. Day seven is the crab. Day eight is... You know what? You get the point. I'm not going to say the days anymore. I have a jellyfish. There's a shark. There's a manta ray. There's a regular old fishy fish. And day 12 is the sea slug. So you can find all these on my YouTube. There's a playlist you can find and on Instagram as well. But other than that, we're just going to get right into crocheting and we're going to make some more turtles in some size 6 plushie yarn. Let's just get right into this. So I just finished the second turtle, and I think that will be the only one I finish. I really want to start working on my unicorn pattern, so I'm going to set the plushies aside. But before I do that, I'm also going to take photos of every single plushie, which will probably take me a million years, if not longer. If any of you have taken photos for listings before, you probably can relate to that statement because it feels like it takes forever, and it might as well. So I'm gonna get started on that right now before I get distracted by anything else and then start working on the new pattern. Okay, I just finished taking photos of all of these things on my desk. The rest of the chickens I already have photos for, so those guys are done. Now I'm going to quickly make a list of all the things I'm going to list on eBay and see how much Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Buddy. Isn't he so handsome? Oh, he's too distracted. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying, but I'm gonna make a list and then set all of these aside in a special place. Buddy, show them your beautiful eyes. There they are. Hi. What a good boy. Isn't he the cutest little man? Good boy. Okay, now on to the unicorn. So I just finished calculating everything. I wrote down the colors that I have, which can be a little complicated. The quantity is here, and then the price is here. I've calculated the total amount of inventory I'll have up, which is important to know how much you might make. Now, this isn't necessarily what I'm going to make, though, because I will be losing from fees. So I'll probably calculate the fee in and then see the total that will be up later, because right now I want to get onto the unicorn. I've been saying it this entire time, so now we're actually going to do it. I'm going to set all of these aside in a place so that they won't get lost or anything. If you're curious what this fluffy thing is here, it is Buddy. He has yet to move on, so here's his tail. Let's get onto this unicorn because I can't hold it in any longer. So real quick before we get onto the unicorn content, I calculated how much eBay would likely take, and it's going to be depending on how many people order at once and shipping costs and etc. But I will make, if I sell everything, about $450. So I'm going to be losing about $600 through fees. $660, not 600. That would not even be worth it. I would be losing about $60 for paying for the fees and everything else. So I calculated all the prices for my items to add that in, so I'm not technically losing it. It's just going straight to eBay's fees. It's kind of the equivalent of paying a market's fee at this point. I would pay around $50 for a market fee, and for most of the markets I've been to, I've made around this much. So it's just kind of, it is what it is. When you put it into that perspective, it makes it less bad, I guess, in a way, because I'd be spending that much money to go to a market anyways, so what difference does it really make? So yeah, and I also calculated it with 13%. That's how much I would lose, but that's not necessarily always accurate. I'm not entirely certain all the ins and outs of eBay, so that is just a guess. Hopefully I will make more than that, but I might not. And so that is what it is. Other than that, I think we're good, and we're going to move on to the unicorn finally. Okay, so this is the unicorn pattern I was talking about. I actually had a different pattern in mind originally, but I really love the weighted plushies, the way they sit, and they're super cute. So the next one I'll be making for this is so that I can write the pattern down. What I'll do is actually make it in a size 4 yarn, so I don't need to make a bunch more giant unicorns because they take up space. I'm not really able to move them right now. Market season is basically over, so if I make another big one, it would be to do a final test on the pattern, not to write it down. So I'm probably going to end up making 3 more of these, 2 in a size 4 yarn and then another one in this sized yarn, and then we'll go from there. There are a couple things that I want to tweak on the pattern. For example, I'd like the body to be a little bit bigger when compared to the size of the head. So I might shrink the head just a tiny bit and make it a little bit more proportional. But I think that's the only tweak that I really want to do. I like the simplicity of it. I like how heavy it is. I like its legs and how it moves. So we're going to keep everything else the same and just redesign the head to be just a tiny bit smaller. And then while I redesign the first pattern, I'm going to be writing it down in Canva. This is where I'll be designing the pattern for all that stuff. Now, if any of you are really excited about this pattern, just hold your horses, because it's probably not going to be out until the end of January. So if you want to see the pattern when it comes out, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I'll probably post more updates there than over here on YouTube. So yeah, and like I said earlier, if you want to be part of the pattern test, you can leave a comment down below and even follow me on Instagram, because that's where I'll be hosting the pattern test. All that said, we're going to get into the crocheting part of this. First off, sorry about the video quality. It is a very cloudy day today where I live, but these are the colors I've chosen. We're going to do white baby velvet for the body color, silver for the hooves, and I might change the color for the horn, but we'll see where that goes. And then the mane, which is going to be purple, because purple happens to be my favorite color. If you hear that scratching sound, that is Buddy being annoying, as usual. So we're just gonna get to the unicorn. I'm just gonna take some clips because I'm gonna move downstairs and I don't want to sit at my desk any longer because I'm done with my chair. So let's go downstairs. So it is now later in the day, and I finally finished the second prototype, which is honestly exactly the way I want it to look. I don't see anything wrong with it. I did do a couple changes. So one, I changed the way the mane looks so that it's a little bit more, I don't know, it's just less sewn down and there's more of a mane, if that makes sense. Then I added a little bit more features to the eyes, sunk them in a bit, and sunk the bridge of the nose in a little bit. I got rid of all the back loops on the feet, so they're nice and round now, because I personally don't like the look of black back loop only. Added more to the tail so that it is a little bit poofier, and made the body a little bit bigger compared to what it was before. So all those changes, about everything else is the same. Now I just have to write the pattern out. As you saw in earlier clips, there are a few notes that I took, but I haven't actually written anything out yet. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and write it down, and I probably won't see you until tomorrow, where we will probably begin working on the second size 4 unicorn. So see you then. Hey guys, it is currently the next day from when I started filming. I'm sure I'll put the date up on the screen. I just finished last night writing out the pattern. I still have to do quite a bit of graphical design and stuff like that. I need to write out the sewing instructions. But other than that, the unicorn pattern is written down and it should be ready to go At this point, I think I'm only going to make one more unicorn because this is a very time-consuming pattern. So I'll do one more unicorn in plushie yarn and take photos for the pattern as I work with it. So yeah, that's the plan. But what I'm going to do right now is actually set up all my eBay posts, and then I'll probably check back in with you when I finish that. We'll see how long it takes me. Hey everyone, I just wanted to come on and update you real quick. It is about noon. I spent all morning working on my eBay listings, and they are finally finished. Now that everything's set up, I did do a little bit of number adjusting. So for the turtles, I decided to put up 5 green ones, and they will be made to order. So the green ones, I have plenty of yarn to do all of those, and I'm not using that yarn on anything else right now, so that's what I'm going to do. Everything else stayed the same quantity wise. So I've added everything up. I have 43 items up on eBay at this point, all in different types of listings. So some of them are single listings, like all the chickens, they're separate listings for their colors. But then the octopi, axolotls, and mushrooms, they're all in a listing together. So, I mean, you know, based on color, not on... I hope that made sense. Anyways, what I'm going to say is total of 43 items, and after the estimated fees, I have about $488 worth of stuff on eBay, which is a good profit. It kind of sucks that the fees are that high, but if I compare it to a market, it's pretty similar. It is definitely more expensive, but that's just estimated fees. That's not counting anything else just yet. So keeping that in mind when I'm posting these, that's also why I made everything just a tiny bit more expensive than it was, just so that I can pay for those fees and still earn money for my time spent making these things. So right now, I think I'm going to set up for a thumbnail shot and then go back to working on my unicorn pattern, which is almost done. So catch you then. Okay, so I have finally finished the body of the unicorn. It took me in all of 2 hours to complete it. So as you can see, it is a very time-consuming pattern. It is a large pattern, but the body is complete now and it's finished. Whoops, what you just saw was my tangled mess of my microphone, so just ignore that, pretend it didn't happen. So I have to pull the eyes in just a little bit, and I think I might leave the nose as it is. I might sink it in a little bit, but other than that, the facial details, we just have to do the ears, the horn, then the mane, all the legs, and the tail. Thankfully, this pattern doesn't have too many extra features. It's still quite a lot, but it's not as much as some other patterns I've worked on. So I think right now I'm going to take a break because I've been staring at this ring light for 2 hours now and I'm just kind of burnt out. So I'm going to get some lunch and I might not even see you this afternoon. I might see you tomorrow. We're going to have to see. This paper is what I've been taking my photos on. If you guys, I haven't decided if I'm going to put photos in yet, so you'll see it when it's edited. So whatever I'm saying here probably won't matter. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't have anything else to add. It did take a long time. I'm going to try and keep track of how long this pattern takes so that I can have an estimated time in the pattern. I've already written one down, but I want to make sure it's accurate. So body takes about 2 hours, and that's me crocheting really fast. So yeah, I'm going to sink the eyes in and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And there we are. It is sunk it in. Usually I would have more of a tail than what I did have, but I'm trying to save yarn and also wasn't thinking about it when I snipped it. So this is where it's at. The eyes are sunken in. It's really cute. And then at this point I just need to make the ears and then the legs. I'm hoping I have enough yarn. Otherwise I might have to search my stash and pick something that looks slightly off, but we shall see. At this point, like I said, I'm gonna go get some lunch, so I'm gonna set this guy aside. I'm gonna get final photos and set them aside, and we can continue this either this afternoon or tomorrow. So you'll see in just a second when that is. So see you in a second. And there we are. It is sunken in. Usually I would have more of a tail than what I did have, but I'm trying to save yarn and also wasn't thinking about it when I snipped it. So this is where it's at. The eyes are sunken in. It's really cute. And then at this point I just need to make the ears and then the legs. I'm hoping I have enough yarn. Otherwise I might have to search my stash and pick something that looks slightly off, but we shall see. At this point, like I said, I'm gonna go get some lunch, so I'm gonna set this guy aside. I'm gonna get the final photos and set them aside, and we can continue this either this afternoon or tomorrow. So you'll see in just a second when that is. So see you in a second. Hey everyone, so it's later the same day. It's about pretty late at night actually, and I did a little bit of crocheting on my own without filming because I didn't want to mess around with the camera at this point. So right now I have the 3 legs finished. I finished the ears, and you saw the body earlier, which is done. Now, the only problem I have is that I ran out of cream yarn. So I raided my stash, and give me a second because I'm going to show you what I found. Okay, here's what I found. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it is the completely wrong color. But I did find this, and it is the same color. But it is the only color I have left. I really hope that this is enough to make the final leg. I'm thinking it will be. I'm just crossing my fingers. Yeah, I have all of this yarn, but it's a different tone. A completely different tone, so I'm gonna have to set all of that aside and hope that this will be enough. So let's see how far I get with this game of yarn chicken. Okay, so sadly I didn't have enough yarn to finish the leg. I have 2 rounds left, so I think what I'm going to do is actually sew everything on with an acrylic yarn and steal any scrap I can off of the piece, because I do want to sew this piece. I want it to look nice. So I'm going to scrounge where I can and sew with acrylic. It should look really nice anyways, and it'll actually save me from having to deal with the yarn falling apart, which I'm sure all of you know about if you've worked with plushy yarn, that is. So yeah, I'm gonna see what I can scrounge, and let's finish these last 2 rounds. Shouldn't be too much, so we'll see. Okay, so sadly I had to cut the ends from both the ears and another one of the legs, but I did manage to get it finished, at least finished enough. I'm going to secure all the tails on the inside and then stuff it. So then I need to take some photos of the legs and then move on to the next step. I think I'll make the horn next, and then the mane, and then probably leave the sewing for tomorrow, because yeah, it's pretty late for me and I don't want to stay up too much longer. So I will see you shortly. Well, shortly for me, a second for you. It is now December 30th and it is Saturday. So today will be the last day of filming. I have all the parts put together. I did the mane and the tail and the horn last night off camera because it's a little difficult to film. I'm going to set up the camera now and get stitching though, sew everything together. And then after that, I only have one thing left to do, and that's film shorts and Instagram reels, both for the tester call and for my restock. So I'm going to get to it, and yeah, we'll just see how long this takes me. Okay, so I just finished sewing on the legs. That took me about 20 or so minutes, and now I'm going to move on to the facial features. I just finished the unicorn. Whew, it was a 3-day process, or a 4-day process. I'm sure I'll put it on the screen. Many hours of work. I still have a lot of editing to do. Now that I have all the photos taken, I can put it up on to the pattern. I'm going to take a bunch more photos for the tester call, which will be out on the 1st. I believe when this video will come out, it'll be out and open. So if you're interested, you can check it out. Let's see. I have to film a couple of shorts for the tester calls and also for the restock. If you're interested in having one of these unicorns and you don't know how to crochet, you can also check out my eBay listing, because I will be putting this unicorn up, and I will have limited custom orders depending on, you know, who's interested. So if you want one of in this plush yarn, that one will be up, and the velvet yarn, that one will also be up. So a smaller version, it'll be about the same price because it's still the same amount of work. So just a little bit different because material costs are more expensive on these bigger pieces. But all that said, everything is finished. The unicorn is done. Her pattern is fully written out and checked. So now I just need testers to double check for me. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna let you guys go now. I don't have anything else to add. I want to get this video edited before the 1st, so I don't really want to add more clips. But I finished the 2 things I set out to do, which was the restock and the unicorn pattern. So hopefully it'll all go well. I'm hoping it will, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you have any tutorials or anything that you'd like me to release, you can let me know down in the comments below. I don't really have a ton of ideas right now, so your suggestions would be great. Other than that, I think that's it. So make sure to like and subscribe and comment and do all those things, and I will see you later. Bye!